All right, welcome everybody. It's nice to see you. We have, again, assembled behind me all of the men and women working in all the governmental and other agencies that are necessary for protecting the city of New Orleans. I wanted to give you an update of where we are. The city is in active preparations for this significant winter event that, as you know, is stretching all the way from Houston to the Carolinas and is one of the most significant weather events of this kind that we've had at least in 10 years. The city of New Orleans is leaning forward. Yesterday, I declared a state of emergency for Orleans Parish. I have been in communication with the parish presidents for the surrounding areas, as well as the Governor's Office of Homeland Security, to make sure that we are all communicating on what is necessary to protect this region and particularly the city of New Orleans. Our Emergency Operations Center is activated, and we are working 24/7. Our communications staff for the press, our Joint Information Center, is open and operating. And today, our residents must be prepared for what we now know is definitely coming our way. People who have been through this tell us that winter storms of this nature are very, very unpredictable and are to be respected. It is a very fluid situation that we are going to have to continue to monitor. We just received a briefing from the Weather Service in the Emergency Operations Center. We are under winter storm warning. As everybody knows, two things are going to happen today. It's going to get colder and it's going to get wet. And when it gets colder and it goes below freezing, that wet is going to turn into ice. And when an ice event hits an area that's not prepared for it, it creates clear and present dangers for people in a number of different ways. The first thing that's going to happen is the roads are going to become impassable. They're going to become very dangerous. Bridges are going to become the most dangerous of all of those. And on top of that, if the ice sits on the power lines for too long or on trees, and the trees then impair those wires, we could have electrical outages, which Entergy is going to monitor. We are very concerned about protecting against the loss of life. You cannot drive a car on a sleet of ice and maintain control of it. And if you do that, you're going to put yourself and you're going to put other people in harm's way. So we're asking people to stay home. As you know, as a result of the declaration of emergency, we have closed all government offices in the city today and tomorrow because we expect this event to be with us until at least Thursday morning, and we'll go through some of that today. Freezing, rain, sleet will start this afternoon around 2 p.m. We can expect not only to have rain, sleet, ice, we also might have some snow accumulation, but ice is really the dangerous piece that we want to pay attention to. The city will be below freezing shortly, and it will not reach above freezing temperatures until Wednesday afternoon. And when it does that, it's expected to only be there for a minute, and then the weather is going to get cold again, and the ice will remain with us. So tomorrow, you can expect sun to be out and it to get a little bit warmer. That's just a fade. It's not going to stay like that. It's going to get colder, and the ice will remain with us as predicted until Thursday morning. We can also expect 5 to 15 degrees of wind chill and wind gust. We're anticipating as much as 1/2 inch of ice. And as I have said, icy roadways are threatening, and we're highly recommending that people stay off of the roadways. Also, stay away from trees. When ice accumulates on those tree limbs and they fall, that can also put you in harm's way, as well as what happens should it hit a power line if you're anywhere around it. Our city has taken all necessary precautions. The public safety units are fully staffed and prepared. We have with us today the New Orleans Police Department, the New Orleans Fire Department, EMS. We have the National Guard with us, the State Police, DOTD, and they will all address you in a minute. All hands are on deck. NOPD staged barricades to support the Department of Transportation and Development at all bridges throughout the city. All generators are fueled and ready to go. The New Orleans Fire Department has staged equipment and personnel in the lower 9th Ward and in lower coast Algiers already. The Sewage and Water Board is also staged and ready to respond to any sewage emergencies on both sides of all of the bridges. All first responders are in communication with mutual partners as well. Starting this morning, 311 began operating 24/7. We're working to deliver updated information and receive non-emergency service requests from residents. Non-emergency service requests, please call 311. The citizens are our eyes and our ears. We would love to have you call us and give us information that you think would be necessary, and the 311 operators who are on call all the time now will help direct you to the appropriate agency to fix your problem. The Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, as we speak, on the street, and so I will give you their update. They're monitoring the bridges and the highways. They're on standby to place sand on icy roadways. Their resources and personnel are staged in priority locations in Orleans Parish, including the following places: the Crescent City Connection, the Danziger Bridge, the Seabrook Bridge, the I-510 Paris Road Green Bridge, the I-10 High Rise, Claiborne Avenue, otherwise known as US 90, Florida Avenue, the I-10 twin spans on the South Shore, Highway 11, the Woodland Bridge. If conditions deteriorate, bridges and roadways may completely close. In terms of public works, our crews are on the street. They're on standby for road repair and debris removal if necessary. Staff is on standby to install temporary stop signs if traffic lights go out. Parkways and sanitation equipment is staged and ready to clear roadways if necessary, and we'll give you an update. The city has activated its citywide freeze plan. The following shelters are open: the Salvation Army, the Covenant House, Oz and Amin, and the New Orleans Mission. We have extra bed capacity. Allie Mae Williams Center Shelter is open this morning at 2222 Simon Boulevard. That is set up for both sheltering and for medical needs. We're also coordinating with our tourism leaders because, as you know, we had a major convention in town. All of those plans are on go and are being wrapped up. The airport team is in constant contact with the airlines. There are no flights flying out of New Orleans today, and I don't think tomorrow. I think we'll follow that on an as-needed basis, but I think that the airlines are going to cease and desist until we're out of harm's way. That may change, so make sure you check with your airlines. But right now, there are no flights moving in and out of Lakefront Airport or MSY. The schools, OPSB and the RSD, have closed their schools today. I'm expecting that they'll do so tomorrow, too, because the city, in my opinion, is still going to be in harm's way. In terms of hospitals, Ochsner, LSU, Touro, and Children's are operating. The VA hospital is closed today and tomorrow. We're going to get a report from the RTA in a minute, but the streetcars are no longer operating. The buses will continue to do so on a as appropriate basis. And, of course, we're working closely with Entergy. Mr. Rice is going to give us an update on that, but 1,000 workers are prepared to respond, and he'll give you more detailed information. I will say this, as I've said many times, the citizens have to be prepared. You have to stay alert. And the order of the day is, if everybody is courteous and everybody is wise about how they handle their business, we ought to get through this very difficult time like we've gotten through so many other ones together without the loss of life and, to the extent possible, the loss of property. It's a very fluid situation. I want to ask everybody again to check on their neighbors because sometimes neighbors need help and are unable to ask for it. It is very dangerous, and the dangers are real, so I would like to go over them again. Driving on icy roads is life-threatening for you and for other people, so please don't do it. Stay away from fallen trees, down tree limbs, and power lines, and the improper use of generators and candles will cause harm, and Chief McConnell will talk about that in a minute. I hope that you have gotten your supplies already. You should have a plan in place, and updates for everybody will be available on ready.nola.gov. If you want to sign up for email and text alerts, follow us on social media. The handle is @NOLA-READY. This allows, of course, us to be in touch with you with important safety information. All right, so in summary, the city of New Orleans is going to be impacted by this winter storm. It's very serious. It's going to start this afternoon, and it's going to last through Thursday morning. We're already beginning to see the impacts of this. Significant ice accumulations are already in Baton Rouge and in Hammond. Freezing rain and sleet are now falling in Gonzales, in Slidell. So we're encouraging citizens to get prepared now, asking you to take all the necessary precautions. Look out for your neighbors and motorists. Stay off the road unless you absolutely have to be on it. And in case of emergency, anybody should call 911. Again, please remain vigilant. We feel very confident. We have plans in place, and I'm very confident that the people of New Orleans and the people of the region will cooperate fully with the authorities so that we get through this without any loss of life, limb, or property. So I thank you all very much. And at this point in time, I'd like to call up Colonel Jerry Sneed, to be followed by Charles Rice, and then they will follow in the order on the sheet. Colonel Sneed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Emergency Operations Center is up, operational, and will remain so throughout the event. Coordination between all the elements are going very, very well. No issues at all. DOTD, as the mayor said, has staged a lot of equipment. They actually started some of their de-icing earlier this morning, just prior to coming in to this meeting here. We were told that they're on the Seabrook Bridge now, de-icing. So it's reduced to one lane, not because of any problems. They're de-icing, and that's why it's down to one lane now. Again, everything, all highways are open, running with no problems, but that doesn't mean you should get out on the road. We still encourage everybody to stay home. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Charles Rice, Entergy, please. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Followed by you.
Good morning, everyone. Energy continues to monitor the winter storm that's affecting the metropolitan area. We're closely monitoring the weather. As the mayor stated, we have about 1,000 workers ready to respond throughout the metro area, and a total of about 2,600 restoration workers assembled across Louisiana. Our staging areas are open and operational. There are additional trucks that are parked and ready to roll out when restoration begins. We've activated our command centers. We would like to keep our customers informed. We've enacted some proactive customer calls and texts. Those of you that have our app, you can get updates on our app, outage updates. We also have our Energy Storm Center website. You can follow us on Twitter as well as Facebook. And also, we have our View Outage website. And if you are aware of an outage, we would ask that you call 1-800-9-OUTAGE. And also, you can monitor View outages at Entergy.com.
Thank you, Charles. Iftikhar Ahmed with the airport, and then Justin Augustine to be followed by Chief Surpass and then Chief McConnell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our last flight left at 11 a.m. This morning, and the rest of the flights are canceled, and we believe this situation will continue into tomorrow. We hope to resume flights Thursday, but please check with your individual airlines on your flights. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Regional Transit Authority.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the mayor stated, all streetcar service has been suspended. Bus service is running where streetcars normally would run, except on the riverfront. Our bus service is running and will continue to run until street or weather conditions change. For updates, please call the RTA at 504-248-3900. Once again, that's 504-248-3900. Also, updates are also available online at www.ready.nola.gov or follow the RTA on Twitter at New Orleans RTA. Thank you.
Good morning. First and foremost, thank you for adhering to our advice and staying home. The roads are virtually empty, so we appreciate your cooperation. Don't let the conditions right now fool you. Change is definitely coming. Rain, ice, and standing ice is on the way. This police department is prepared for whatever comes our way, and we are on the all-hands-on-deck mode, and will stay that way until it's determined that we no longer need to. We are prepared to handle automobile accidents on the roadways. We're already patrolling the neighborhoods, and you'll see blue lights circling in your neighborhoods, especially if electric outages occur. I want to thank the men and women of the NOPD who have all been accounted for and are at work helping us to make this a safe transition for the next 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Chief McConnell.
The New Orleans Fire Department's up and running, fully staffed. With the stint of cold weather, I would like to emphasize that citizens not compromise their safety in an effort to stay warm. Alternative forms of heating, space heaters, are the biggest risk for both starting fires. We had a fire already this morning that was started by a space heater, so I'd encourage everyone to be particularly careful when using what we call alternative forms of heat. Make sure that they're always using them in a well-ventilated room. If that requires cracking your windows to get some air circulation, that's real important. Make sure you keep them a safe distance from any kind of combustible material, curtains, or furnishings. Don't leave them in an area where you have children or pets unattended. Electrical space heaters, make sure they're on plugged directly into outlets and not utilizing an extension cord. Additionally, with this type of heat, you have to be worried about carbon monoxide poisoning. It'll build up in a room and will cause death. So once again, make sure it stays well ventilated, and do not use stoves or ovens to heat the home. Those absolutely will cause carbon monoxide. In addition to, if you're using candles, if we do have the potential for electrical outages. Candles are particularly dangerous. Do not leave them in a room unattended. Do not leave them by openings, by doors or windows where something could blow into them. And make sure they're out when you leave the room. Do not leave them on while people are sleeping or around children. Generators, they should not be operated in a building for the same reason with the carbon monoxide. Make sure that they're outside and away from any combustible materials, not near the building or not in a location where the fumes could enter the building through an opening. Make sure you store the fuel for those type of appliances in a safe place outside the structure. Of course, good time to check your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in the event that they're necessary. Thank you.
Dr. Elder, EMS, Emergency Medical Services.
Good morning. New Orleans EMS is fully staffed with additional ambulances and emergency response vehicles placed throughout the city to respond to any medical emergencies. In addition, just a few safety tips. As been stated, please stay off of the roads. Conditions will become icy and dangerous. For your neighbors, check on your elderly neighbors. Make sure they have adequate heat and provisions to make it through this event. And additionally, just to comment on Chief McConnell's carbon monoxide comments, carbon monoxide is a very dangerous gas that is tasteless, colorless, and odorless. It's caused by improper heating, so please follow all instructions on any portable heaters as been discussed, and do not use ovens or any other type of grill for heat in the home.
Great, thank you very much. All right, Charlotte Parent, followed by Bob Miller, and then Mark Romig. Thank you. Department of Health.
Good morning. The health department is reporting that all homeless shelters are open, and currently there are about 494 people being sheltered, 130 open spaces still available. The Allie Mae Center, which is an overflow unit, is open and currently is sheltering 3 people. We've had no medical calls to 311 at this time, and we are in the health department calling some of our most vulnerable clients on our special medical needs registry just to reassure them that we're here and let them know that if they do have a power outage to call 311 and let us know. Some dialysis centers and community health centers are closed. The list is on the website, the ready.nola.gov site, where you can find that. All hospitals are open and operational, and the East After Hours Urgent Care Center is also open and operational. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bob, Surgeon Water Board.
All sewerage and water board facilities are prepared for cold weather operations. Additional staff has been brought in to ensure operations as road closures occur. Sewerage and water board power plant is prepared to supply electrical power to sewerage and water board water and sewer facilities during cases of energy outages. Sewerage and water board staff, equipment, and materials are being stationed in central New Orleans as well as New Orleans East and in Algiers to ensure response in case of bridge closures. Our offices are closed, but the emergency phone center remains open, and we can be reached at 52 Water. Sewerage and water board response teams will respond to any sewer or water-related emergency throughout this event.
That's 529.
529-2837. Thank you.
Everybody got that? All right. Mark Romig.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning. The hotels are operating with essential personnel, so we're taking care of the visitors that have remained with us through the storm and that will be with us for the next couple of days. Major attractions are closed for the time being, and visitors as well as citizens can get an update on all of these activities and operations at neworleanscvb.com. So that's your check-in on a regular basis 24/7.
Thank you. Also, our council members have been with us throughout and from the beginning. We have Susan with us and Vice President of the Council, Stacy Head. Would y'all like to make a comment? Are you sure? Susan? Yes. Okay, go ahead.
I know that all these good folks up here have taken care of all the people in the area and the information that they need to know. I would ask Charlotte Parent with the health department, could you come up and explain if a person has a medical emergency, they should be dialing 911.
Yes.
Right? And when you were talking about 311, who is that for?
It's for non-emergency matters.
Non-emergency matters and anyone who has electrically dependent medical equipment. If the electricity goes out, we're asking them to call 311 so we can then route them to the appropriate persons.
Thank you. I wanted to make that real clear. And I just want to say that I was in touch with the SPCA earlier, and they do have their vehicles staged, and they asked that 24/7, if you see an animal out in this weather, if you can take it in, please take it in, and then call them at 368-5191. And give them the information. They'll come and pick up the animal. They are prioritizing animals out without shelter right now. And so if you can't take the animal in, then still call them at the number 368-5191 and leave as much information. If you don't get a live operator, leave as much information as you can regarding the description of the animal and the location of the animal. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Stacy?
Thank you very much. I would just like to add one thing to what Dr. Parent said. We have a fairly large number of homeless people that are still encamping underneath interstates and finding shelter. Anything that we can do to encourage them to take appropriate shelter is going to be good for their safety and also for the people who are going to have to go out. I saw some good Samaritans as I was coming in this morning bringing warm clothes and blankets and things. While that may feel very good, it really is not protecting their life. We need to encourage people to take proper shelter because a blanket or a fleece is not going to protect them in the weather that we're going to get over the next 24 to 48 hours. So Dr. Parent made sure that there are shelters for everyone in the city of New Orleans. There are overflow shelters. Please encourage people to take refuge in a safe place as opposed to staying out on the street and then potentially taking even more dangerous action.
Great. Thank you all so very much. Again, the shelters that are open, the Salvation Army is open, the Covenant House is open, Ozanam Inn is open, the New Orleans Mission is open, and Allie Mae Williams Center on Simon Boulevard for overflow for special needs is open as well. Again, I want to thank everybody for all of their work. We have first responders that are working 24/7. If anybody in the community sees one of them, please thank them for their complete commitment. Everybody here is leaning forward. Just to summarize, this is a very serious event. It is unfolding as predicted by the National Weather Service. We will have rain, we will have cold, and we will have ice. We may have snow, and it is absolutely dangerous if you don't abide by some of the suggestions that we have made today. Please don't put yourself or anybody else's lives in jeopardy. And, of course, we will walk through this as we have together through many, many other very difficult times. And I'm certain that if we all use common sense and courtesy, that we will all be fine come Thursday morning very early. We will keep you updated, and we'll do this again tomorrow right around the same time unless weather circumstances change that require us to meet again before then. All right, with that, let me open it up to any questions. Please direct it to the agency that is responsive to the question that you have. Yes, ma'am. Alan, are you here? The calls have actually been very regular, and nothing irregular has come in since yesterday. And there haven't been any weather-related injuries, I don't believe, up to this point.
Within the metro area, we have not suffered any outages. There have been outages in western Louisiana. With regard to our mutual assistance partners, we've been in touch with them since yesterday, and they are on standby if we need them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. I'm going to let the chief answer that for you, Chief McConnell.
So we staged extra units in the areas where we thought there might be access issues if the bridges were to go out. So in the lower Ninth Ward and in lower coast Algiers, if the Woodland Bridge or we weren't able to get across the Industrial Canal for the lower Ninth Ward, we've staged additional resources there. Additionally, we've reached out to all our parish partners with the other fire departments, St. Bernard, Jefferson Parish, Plaquemines, just in case, and it's a reciprocal agreement, obviously. So that's why we put those resources there.
I also said that as it relates to the Surgeon Water Board. Because if the bridges go out, we want to make sure that all of we have access to all of the folks that may need help.